reproduction. Reproduction, as you have already just now gone through a video, like what type of reproduction are there, how many types and all. Let us go in detail about it. What is reproduction? Reproduction is the ability to produce new individual organism of the same kind. Okay, one organism gives birth to the another organism is nothing but called as reproduction. Okay, one organism gives birth to the another organism is nothing but called as reproduction. Okay, fine. Now, for example, take this sheep. What the sheep does, the sheep, it gives out his young ones, and that process is known as reproduction. Okay, that process is known as reproduction. The ability to produce a new individual organism of the same kind, okay, of the same kind is known as reproduction. Like humans reproduce humans, birds reproduce birds, animals reproduce animals. Okay, so one individual only gives its own reproduction. Okay, its own organism. So clear to you what is reproduction? Remember the definition. Please note down and take. It is an ability to produce new individual organism of the same kind. Okay, it is an ability to produce new individual of an organism of the same kind. If I ask you in the next class what is reproduction, then you should be able to answer me. Okay. So what is a reproduction? Reproduction is nothing but producing its own organism or producing a new organism. Or reproducing a new organism is nothing but called as reproduction. Okay. Clear to everyone the definition of reproduction? Note down the definitions and take. Definitions are important. Okay. It's an ability to produce a new individual organism. It's an ability to produce a new individual organism of the same kind. Okay. Of the same kind. Okay. Like the humans reproduce humans. Yes or no? Humans give birth to a small baby that they reproduce humans. Whereas in the other animals reproduce animals, birds reproduce birds. Okay, microorganism reproduce microorganism. That is how it works. The reproduction works. Clear, right, about reproduction? Okay, as you are clear with the reproduction, let us go. There are two types of reproduction. Okay, how many types of reproduction? There are two types of reproduction. How many types? Yes, very good. Two types of reproduction. So the two types of reproduction are, one is asexual reproduction and another one is sexual reproduction. Okay, one is sexual reproduction and another one is asexual reproduction. Okay, now you must be very much curious about to know what is this asexual and sexual reproduction, yes or no? But remember this, there are two types of reproduction, sexual and asexual. Remember, please note down and take sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. So in these two types of reproduction, what is sexual reproduction? Sexual reproduction is nothing but genetic information from two individuals of the different types of sexes is mixed in the offspring. Here what happens in sexual reproduction? Two organisms come together to reproduce one different organism. Okay, two organisms come together to give a different organism. Okay, to reproduce one organism. Whereas, what happened here in asexual reproduction? In asexual reproduction, you had seen in the video, right? What happens in asexual reproduction? How many types of asexual reproduction are there? How many types of asexual reproduction are there? Born single. Yes. How many types are there? One is budding. Yes, very good. Single parent give birth to a new young ones. Yes, single parents give. Okay, that was California black hydra. Very good. Yes, Tasmia, very good. Soundarya, nice. Good. Four types. How many? Fission, fragmentation, very good. Fission. No, which type they are? How many? Budding, binary fission, fragmentation, very good. Vegetative propagation, yes, very nice. Again, in Hydra, what happens? Eastern Hydra, what happens? Budding, very good, Sahana. Yes, very good, Kartik. Budding takes place in Hydra. Yes, regeneration or budding. Regeneration is usually happens in fragmentations. Okay. Yes, reproduce through budding. Very good, students. You remember, very nice. I'm very happy with this. Yes. So what happens is in these two types, asexual and sexual reproduction. In asexual reproduction, what happens is one single parent gives the reproduces organisms. Okay, reproduces organism. One single parent reproduces organism, and this organism will be similar to this parent. Okay, this organism will be similar to this parent. Clear to everyone? These are nothing but called as clones. Okay, these are nothing but called as clones. See, clones are nothing but genetically similar organism. Now this and this, can you see any difference here? Can you see any difference there? See the picture. See the picture. Let us discuss about those things later. First, let us go with the basic. Okay, do not get confused, dear students. Please see here. There is any difference? Can you see any difference in this or in this sheet? Anyone can quickly answer me. Can you see any differences? No, right? You cannot see any difference there. Yes. Why you cannot see any difference there is because these are nothing but called as clones. Okay. These are called as clones. Uh, Attention towards the classes. Okay. So these are called as clones. What are clones? Clones are nothing but you can say it as a duplicate. Okay, a duplicate of it. Okay, one like a Xerox or a carbon copy of it. Clones are nothing but duplicates. Okay, so what happens here is this sheep, if think this sheep is a parent, this reproduces the similar kind of sheep. Okay, this sheep is a parent, it reproduces similar kind of sheep, and these are nothing but that's called as clones. Okay, these are but nothing but called as clones. Those clones those clones which have what I should say structure, okay, similar type, everything is similar in them and it's nothing but called as clones. If you remember what are clones are nothing but genetically similar, okay, genetically similar organism, genetically and structurally similar organism or identical organism, they are all are identical. What happens is when a parent gives birth to two organisms, one parent gives birth to two organisms, these both are similar. You have seen in the video, right? In amoeba, what happens there in amoeba? The amoeba parent gives another organism, that is the another amoeba that is similar to the parent. Yes or no? By the binary fission, it reproduces another organism, but it is similar to its parent. That similarity or the identical structure is known as clones. Okay, that identical structure is known as clones. Now, if in the next class, if I ask you the question, what are clones? Clones are nothing but genetically similar, genetically similar or identical organisms. Okay, genetically similar or identical organism. You understood, right? What is a clone? Remember this because it will come in the next classes also. And in the other classes, when I ask you what are clones, you should not get confused regarding that. Clones are nothing but they are the duplicates. Okay, clones are nothing but they are the duplicates or similar organisms. You can see here in the screen as well. This is similar to this, right? This may be the parent. The parent has given this reproduce a similar organism, and these both are clones. But this is done genetically. These people have done this in the laboratories. But however, in naturally, no organism produces clones. Okay, no organism produces clones. Only microorganism can produce. Have you ever seen cow giving birth to the same organism? same similar type of this, what is the calf or anything? No, right? There must be some color change or some patches on them or something. There must be some difference in them. But here in the clones, what happens is when they grow or when they reproduce, they will be similar to their parents. Okay, they will be similar to their parents, like amoeba. Amoeba also, when the cell divides, they are similar to their parents. Okay, when the cell divides, they are similar to their parents. So asexual reproduction gives clones. Okay, clone give examples. Okay, examples are amoeba. Okay, amoeba which gives clone, hydra gives clone, yeast gives clone, clones produces clones. Then also planaria gives clones. Whichever like fragmentation processes where fragmentation type of asexual reproduction where takes place, they also gives clones. Okay, clones are nothing but the duplicate of them. Okay, the duplicate of them, you do not find any differences in them. Okay, you do not find any differences in them. They remain similar. Okay, they remain similar. Okay, I gave you the example. Clones, we will later know, okay, how you will understand what I'm saying about why the clones are being produced. Okay, clones are just to understand now what are clones. Clones are nothing but one which are similar to their parent, genetically and similar and also identical. Genetically similar and also identical. Okay, Rakshita, I'll give you the example. I'll later know, later you will understand also why I'm saying that they reproduce clones. Okay, clear? Okay, clear to everyone about clones now. Do not get confused. Okay, everyone should be answering. Okay, so there are two types: sexual reproduction, asexual reproduction. Do not keep any doubts to yourself. Ask me here itself. Okay, in sexual reproduction, what happened? Two organism. Okay, for example, two organism come together and they give out a offspring. Okay, they give out a offspring. This is sexual reproduction. Whereas asexual reproduction, what happens? One parent organism only produces two organisms, gives out two organisms, and these are genetically similar or identical to the parent. Okay, genetically similar or identical to the parent, and these are known as clones. Okay, and these are known as clones. Okay, clear to everyone, right? No one is having doubt regarding this. Yes, everyone is clear, right? Okay, for everyone it is clear. If any doubts, please put down, or otherwise we will discuss it in the last 10 minutes. Okay. Now coming to the non-living things do not have a property of non-living things do not have a property of replicating or reproducing themselves. Okay, this is the difference between living and non-living, right? In non-living, they do not reproduce, whereas in the living, they reproduce. Okay, clear, right? So about reproduction, once again, I'm saying you do not get confused. Reproduction is nothing but definitions are important. Reproduction is nothing but ability to produce new individual organism of the same kind. New individual organism is nothing but where they can reproduce or give out a young one. Okay, which is give out a young one. Okay, of theirs, like humans reproduce humans, animals reproduce animals, birds reproduce birds. Okay, this is how it works. Okay, so clear, right? The process of giving birth to their young ones is nothing but reproduction. Non-living things do not reproduce or not they replicate. Next, coming to, there are two types of reproduction: asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. What happens in a sexual reproduction? Two organisms come together to give out one offspring. Okay, this is how the sexual reproduction takes place. Whereas what happens in asexual reproduction? Asexual reproduction, one parent divides. Okay, one parent divides and gives out two organisms. One parent divides to give out two other organisms, and these two other organisms are genetically and structurally identical. Okay, these two organisms in a sense, the organism of this. If example amoeba, this amoeba divides to give this one amoeba and another amoeba. Okay, one amoeba, the parent amoeba divides to give one amoeba and another amoeba. Okay, these two amoeba will be similar to this amoeba. Okay, and these two amoeba are known as clones. Clear? These two amoeba are known as clones. Clear to everyone? Clear, right? This topic? No doubt about reproduction, right? Okay. I explained it once again so that there must be no the confusion between you people. Okay. Yes. Okay, fine. Now someone had okay. Before that, before going to Rakshita's question, she also someone else also had asked me. Before going to her question, let me go to this. What it is? Fungi, you know, right? Everyone knows. I have explained you about fungi in the when we were doing introduction. Yes or no? Fungi. What example I had given you? When you keep out a bread outside in the atmosphere, what happens? What do you find there? Bread, pickle, or anything. When you keep it outside, or lemon, for the example, if you keep it outside, what do you find there after 3 days? Green surface, yes, fungus, right? Cottony structure-like thing you find, right? Yes or no? Cottony structure-like thing you find, and that is nothing but fungus. Okay, that is nothing but fungus or fungi. We usually fungus or fungi, whatever, anything comfortable. Okay, in fungi, million of asexual spores are produced in order to multiply and spread. So what happens in fungi? Now, if fungi is very like you can see it with your naked eyes, but to see what is internal in that, you should use microscope. Okay, to see what is internal in that, whenever just do not go and do that experiment, do not waste food. But still, if you have kept anything outside in the atmosphere, okay, if anything you have kept outside in the atmosphere, then what happens? The cottony structure, like the thing which will grow, is nothing but fungus. To see the internal structure of it, to see what the fungus is, how the fungus is, what you have to do is you have to see that under the microscope. Okay, you have to see that fungus under the microscope. Now what happens? Yes, in the bread also you can find. So now what happens? You should know, right, that how this fungus grow. Very fast they grow, right? Well, if you keep that bread for at least for 1 2 days, you will see one layer is formed over that. Yes or no? Yes or no? One layer is formed over that. A kind too much of cottony structure will be grown on that. A layer is formed, and it totally spoils the entire food. Yes or no? It totally spoils the entire food. It can be pickle, it can be a lemon or anything, any fruits if you have kept outside, anything as such. The fungal attack is very normal, very common, right? So now we will know how does it grow. You must be having right curiosity like how does it grow and all. Yes. Okay, let us know. Okay, how does it grow? If you have seen fungus very closely, you will see something like this. This okay, spores. Something like this spores grown on them. Okay. See it. Okay. Anytime if you come across it, so something like this spores grown on that. What happens now? These spores are the reason for the reproduction. Okay, in fungi, which type of reproduction takes place? Remember this. In fungi, asexual reproduction takes place. In fungi, which type of reproduction takes place? Asexual reproduction. Okay, so in fungi, as you know, as asexual reproduction takes place. How does the asexual reproduction takes place? Fungi produces spores. Okay, what does it produce? It produces spores. Okay, this small structure, can you see that? You can, we call it as conidiospores, but now we can just write this out and this is spores. Okay, yes, tiny spores, you can, to see it very clearly, you have to see that under the microscope. Okay, so what happens now? These spores are formed and these spores are the reason for the sexual reproduction in fungi. Okay, now remember this. What happens in fungi? Fungi, they reproduce by spores and they reproduce by spores and that is nothing but called as asexual reproduction. In fungi, millions of asexual spores are produced in order to multiply and spread. What happens? These spores, they multiply. Okay, these spores, they multiply and they spread. And now, what example I had given you? Bread. Nothing, this is a bread. Okay, for example, this is bread. Someone had kept it outside. Okay. So now here the fungus has grown. Okay. Fungus has grown. Now what happens here? The spores are also grown on this. Okay. Now the what happens? The spore will move from one place to another. They'll jump because of air or anything. They will move and everywhere they will grow. And if there is a packet of bread, yes, coconut also, yes, coconut, lemon. If you keep anything food outside like sweets or anything, you usually find it very soon. Okay, it's breaking. Am I audible now? Okay. So what happens is now you have kept this bread outside. Okay. Now for example, Tasmia has kept the bread outside. Okay. Just for example. Okay, Tasmia. Okay. So now what happens is she has kept the bread outside and she has forgot to keep it inside again. Now what has happened is here a small area is infected by fungus. Okay, but she forgot to keep it back again. So what will happen? This fungal growth which has taken place here, the spores from here will move everywhere and it will spread. Okay, it will move everywhere and it will spread, and the fungus will grow to every part of the bread. Okay, the fungus will grow to the every part of the bread, and this is how the fungi multiply. Okay, this is how the fungus multiply. Okay, so now as you know, this is how the fungus multiply. So what is the mode of reproduction in fungi? Fungi reproduces by which reproduction? Fungi reproduces by which reproduction? Very good. Asexual reproduction. Yes or no? Tasmia, answer me. You are the one no, who kept this bread outside. You are in my example. So, how it reproduces? By asexual reproduction. Okay. It reproduces by asexual reproduction. And asexual reproduction. And what are formed? What are formed in this asexual reproduction? What are formed? Spores. Don't keep it outside. Spores are formed. Okay. What are formed? Spores are formed. And these spores formed, they multiply. Okay. They multiply and they spread. Okay. They multiply and they spread. And this is how fungi grow. Okay. This is how fungi grow. Understood now how the fungus reproduce and how they grow? Clear, right? Okay. Clear to everyone? What happens here? Fungi reproduces by asexual reproduction. They produce spores and they spread everywhere. Okay, they produce spores and they spread, and this is how they grow. Okay, this is how they grow. Clear to everyone? Okay, very good. I'll ask the questions in the next class. Okay, let me know how many of you have understood. Okay, read this and come. Now for the coming to the Rakshita's question, Rakshita and someone else also had asked, listen, everyone should listen. What are clones now? What happens here? This is not, I'm not teaching this part, okay? Don't worry, I'm not teaching budding, I'm just giving an example. So what happens here is, this yeast, okay, here it forms a small bud. Okay, it forms a small bud. Now this bud and this yeast is similar, right? This yeast and this bud is similar, right? Can you see here, everyone? Yes, yes or no? This yeast and this bud are similar. This bud and this yeast are similar. This bud is formed from this yeast. Okay, this bud is formed from this yeast, and these both are similar and nothing but clones. Okay, these are nothing but clones. So these organisms, they both are similar, which are similar to each other. That is the daughter and the parent. These are nothing but called as clones. So the example for the clones will be Hydra, Amoeba, yeast. Okay, these are the examples for the clones. Clear about this? But don't worry about budding. Budding I'll be teaching you in the next class. Okay. So clear, right, about this? If there is any doubts, please put down here.